Welcome back to PC Police Chase. What you're about to see will escalate faster than you expect, so if you're ready for a tense ride until the very last second, let's begin right now. At approximately 2:27 p.m. on the 12th of July 2025, in Bath Township, Michigan, dispatchers with the Bath Township Police Department received multiple emergency calls in quick succession. The first call reported a suspicious man walking through backyards and attempting to break into vehicles in the 6000 block of Heathfield Drive. Just minutes later, another call from the 16000 block of Nichols Road reported that a stranger had broken into a home and stabbed the homeowner with a knife. By the time police arrived, the situation had escalated into a hostage incident, with the knife-wielding man holding the blade to the victim's neck inside the residence.
14 years and it's hostage with my life. Go, sir! Get out of there now! Go! Go! Stay inside the house. Drop the knife! Get on the ground now! Stop now! Get on the ground now! Now! Put the knife down!
Officers immediately ordered the suspect to drop the knife and stop, but he suddenly released the victim and fled from the home through a side door. Still armed with the knife, he continued running toward the Meadows neighborhood, forcing police into a high-risk pursuit with nearby residents potentially in danger. When the man refused to comply with commands and continued holding the weapon, officers at the scene opened fire to stop the threat from moving further through the neighborhood. After being shot, the man continued running into a home on English Oak Drive and locked himself inside. Police immediately attempted to force entry while safely evacuating the homeowner when that person appeared at the front door. The suspect then ran out the back door, crossed into a neighboring property, and barricaded himself inside a garage. An officer continued following him, and with the situation still not fully under control, police deployed a taser to subdue him. After the taser deployment, the man was taken to the ground, placed in handcuffs, and given medical aid by officers at the scene before EMS arrived.
Taser deployment, deploy EMS. He's been shot.
Where's the knife? Where's the knife?
After the incident, the suspect was transported to Health, Sparrow Hospital for surgery and treatment of gunshot wounds. His condition was later listed as stable. The victims from the break-in and knife attack were fortunate to suffer only minor injuries and were treated by medical personnel at the scene. No officers were injured. Under Bath Township Police Department policy, the officers who fired their weapons were placed on administrative leave while the incident is investigated. What began as a series of 911 calls about a suspicious person and attempted vehicle break-ins escalated within minutes into a home invasion, a stabbing, a knife held to a hostage's neck, a chase through a residential neighborhood, and a final takedown involving both gunfire and a taser. On the 8th of June 2025 in Dayton, Ohio, officers with the Dayton Police Department spotted a vehicle driving dangerously near Steve Whalen Boulevard before entering US Route 35. During the initial check, the vehicle matched the description of a stolen car that had been captured earlier that day by a flock safety camera system. When officers followed to verify the license plate and attempted to initiate a traffic stop, the driver refused to comply and continued accelerating away.
149 dispatch, we've got a wrong way driver, 35 eastbound, I'm behind it in pursuit. 90.
About 90 traffic lights.
The vehicle turned off near Smithville Road, drove onto the grass, and then re-entered Route 35 inches in extremely dangerous manner. Instead of traveling with the flow of traffic, the driver moved into the wrong way lanes, creating the risk of a head-on collision with oncoming vehicles. With patrol units behind it using lights and sirens, the suspect vehicle continued swerving through traffic, forcing officers to act quickly to bring the pursuit to an end before a serious crash occurred. When the danger of the vehicle continuing the wrong way on a major roadway became too great, one officer used a patrol vehicle to block and ram the suspect car, forcing it to stop. The impact disabled the vehicle and ended the attempted escape at the scene. Officers quickly moved in, secured the driver and passenger, and took them into custody. The driver was later transported to a local hospital for medical evaluation before being transferred to jail. After the incident was brought under control, authorities identified the driver as a 25-year-old man and the passenger as a 26-year-old man. Once the driver was medically cleared, he was booked into the Montgomery County Jail on a charge of failure to comply with the order of a police officer. The passenger was also taken into custody because of an outstanding warrant. What began with a vehicle believed to be stolen turned into a wrong-way pursuit on Route 35 and ended with a police intervention, 2 arrests, and a criminal case far more serious. On the 23rd of May, 2025, in Houston, Texas, officers with the Houston Police Department were dispatched to a commercial area after receiving a report of a man trespassing and refusing to leave the property. Security personnel at the scene told officers the man was armed with a baseball bat and had previously used it to attack him. When police located the man nearby and moved in to make contact, the situation quickly shifted from a trespassing call into an armed confrontation.
We need a new unit coming in code 1 now.
Officers repeatedly ordered the man to stop and drop the bat in both English and Spanish, but he refused to comply. Instead, he continued swinging the baseball bat toward officers in a threatening manner. In an effort to subdue him without using firearms, officers deployed a CED taser multiple times, but the device appeared to have little effect. The situation became even more dangerous when the man bent down and picked up a rock with his right hand, while still holding the baseball bat in his left hand.
Drop it! Shots fired, shots fired.
As the man continued advancing toward 2 officers while holding both the baseball bat and the rock, the threat moved into a dangerous range. After less lethal measures failed to stop the situation, one officer fired multiple rounds, striking the man. Immediately afterward, officers at the scene secured the area, maintained a safe distance, and called for medical assistance. Paramedics with the Houston Fire Department later pronounced the man dead at the scene.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, hold on. We're good.
Anybody else? Just him?
It's just him. It's just him.
Nobody said.
Following the incident, authorities said the man was 64 years old, but his official identity was still pending verification by the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences. The incident began with a trespassing report and an allegation that the man had attacked a security officer with a baseball bat. It then escalated when he refused to follow commands, swung the bat toward officers, picked up a rock, and continued advancing despite multiple CED deployments. What could have ended with him simply leaving the commercial property instead became a deadly officer-involved shooting, one now under investigation under standard police use-of-force procedures. On the 17th of May, 2025, In Houston, Texas, officers with the Houston Police Department were dispatched to the 10300 block of the North Freeway after a reported crash involving 3 vehicles. At the scene, one of the vehicles involved had already left after the collision. After officers handwrangled the 2 remaining vehicles and cleared the traffic situation, police issued a lookout for a green SUV believed to be connected to the hit and run.
You good? You good, bro? No. Do me a favor. Go ahead and grab some clothes. I got you.
A short time later, officers assigned to the North Belt area located the suspicious SUV and conducted a stop as part of the investigation. As officers approached the vehicle, the situation quickly shifted from a hit-and-run crash investigation into a potential firearm threat. The driver did not cooperate in a safe manner. Instead, he suddenly lifted his shirt and reached toward a handgun concealed near his waistband. That movement forced the officers at the scene to react within a split second, as the distance was extremely close and the gun was being drawn right in front of them.
All good. Hey, we got gloves over here. We can grab some. He's.
Johnson. All right, you shot. Get back there, bro. I don't want you to go around. Stay back there.
Hey, weapons over there. I shot you.
Okay.
As the driver continued reaching toward the gun, 2 HPD officers opened fire, striking him in order to stop the immediate threat. Right after the gunfire, officers secured the scene, recovered the firearm, and began emergency medical aid. Paramedics with the Houston Fire Department were called to assist, but the man did not survive and was pronounced dead at the scene.
Keep going.
Following the incident, authorities said the suspect was an adult male. The incident began as a traffic crash involving a vehicle that fled the scene, then escalated when the green SUV was located and the driver allegedly reached for a gun as officers approached. The 2 HPD officers who fired their weapons were temporarily placed on administrative leave, in accordance with standard procedure, while the incident is investigated. What could have ended as a hit-and-run report involving paperwork, insurance, and a crash investigation instead turned into a deadly officer-involved shooting the moment the driver reached toward the firearm. Just after 2:30 a.m. on the 14th of June, 2025, in the Moncks Corner area of South Carolina, deputies with the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office were handling a traffic stop related to a suspected DUI near the intersection of South Live Oak Drive and Wildwood Lane. As the deputies stood near their patrol vehicle while speaking with the driver from the original stop, another vehicle suddenly approached from behind at high speed and slammed directly into the patrol unit, which had its emergency lights activated.
Take me to jail. I'll be out tomorrow. No, it doesn't matter. There's no resisting. I didn't resist. You pulled me out my car just now. You just pulled me out my car. You just pulled me out my car.
The crash happened while the deputies were standing only a few steps away from the patrol vehicle, instantly turning the scene into an extremely dangerous situation. Instead of a routine DUI traffic stop, law enforcement now had to deal with a crash directly at the site where deputies were working. Fortunately, the deputies were able to move out of the direct impact zone in time. After the collision, officers quickly approached the vehicle that caused the crash to check on the driver, make sure the vehicle could no longer keep moving, and secure the scene in the dark.
Hey, watch out. Oh, you got it open? All right.
Yeah, but you're gonna need EMS.
She's moving. She's moving. She's moving. You get that open, sir? Is she responding? Yeah. Ma'am.
So 143, you got one responding. All going to 1050. 995 heads.
She's not wearing a seatbelt. Help me get her out.
Okay.
Is she? Yep, she is.
After approaching the vehicle, law enforcement secured the driver and began the on-scene investigation. The case was later turned over to the South Carolina Highway Patrol for an independent investigation, following standard procedure for a crash involving a patrol vehicle. The deputies who were at the scene were also medically evaluated after the collision to make sure they had not suffered any serious injuries.
Or actually, her neck. Leave her on her back so her neck doesn't.
Just lay down.
Yeah. Everybody, I think we're all good. I don't know about him.
204. Y'all need any south units down there?
Just lay still.
Hey, what's your name?
Lawrence, skin.
One more time.
After the incident was brought under control, authorities identified the driver as 32-year-old Lauren Michelle Skinner. She was accused of driving under the influence and crashing into a Berkeley County Sheriff's Office patrol vehicle while deputies were handling a separate DUI traffic stop. According to the information provided, Skinner was also accused of unlawful transportation of alcohol, having a canceled registration tag, driving under suspension, and this was listed as her second offense involving DUI as well as driving without a license. Her bond was set at $4,527.50. An early morning traffic stop was already at approximately 5:49 p.m. on Thursday, the 8th of May, 2025, in the 13400 block of South Baltimore Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. Officers with the Chicago Police Department received a call about an armed man in the area. When law enforcement moved in to investigate, the man immediately got into a vehicle and fled, leading police into a pursuit that crossed out of Chicago and continued into Hammond, Indiana.
433 just entered Indiana.
33, are you still pursuing the vehicle?
10-4.
Available Sergeant 4. 433.
433, he just wrecked on Dearborn. Let me see your fucking head! Let me
433
see your
just
head!
wrecked on Dearborn. I'll give him 433. 433 say he wrecked on Dearborn. He was last seen going down Brainerd.
433, 10-1, shots fired!
The pursuit continued across the state line until the fleeing man's vehicle crashed near Dearborn Street and Gosselin Street in Hammond. After the collision, officers moved in on the vehicle to take the occupants into custody. But instead of surrendering after the vehicle had stopped, the man suddenly used a firearm and opened fire toward police, turning the scene from a pursuit following an armed person call into a close-range gunfight.
433.
433, he is at the corner of Gosselin and Dearborn. He is still armed. He is on the ground.
433 at the corner of Dobson and Dearborn.
Gosselin and Dearborn, he is on the... Don't fucking move! Stay behind the... Chicago police, don't fucking...
When the man opened fire, officers returned fire in self-defense. The suspect was struck multiple times near the crashed vehicle and was transported to St. Catherine Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead from his injuries. At the scene, police recovered a firearm near the suspect's location. 2 officers were also struck by gunfire during the incident and were taken to the hospital for observation. According to the information provided, both were listed in stable condition.
424, 424, send it out of your mouth. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Pick it up, don't pick it up, you got the ground. You should have left on the ground.
Following the incident, authorities identified the suspect as 50-year-old Joseph Navarro, who was wanted in connection with an aggravated assault allegation. The case now involves multiple agencies because the pursuit began in Chicago, Illinois, and ended with a shooting in Hammond, Indiana. In accordance with standard procedure after police-involved shootings, the officers who fired their weapons were temporarily placed on administrative leave while authorities review the full sequence of events. A call about an armed man led to a pursuit across state lines, a crash. On the 7th of May, 2025, in Houston, Texas, Houston police officers were conducting an undercover investigation when a man approached their vehicles. The man then returned to his home and came back out wearing body armor, a tactical helmet, and carrying a long case resembling a rifle case. Because the area was near a school, officers requested marked patrol units to stop the vehicle in the 13900 block of Stancliffe Street.
Driver, can you roll down all of your windows, please? Roll down your windows. You don't have a front plate on your car. It's a traffic stop. Roll down your windows for me, please. Roll down your windows. I'm not going to ask you.
When uniformed officers approached, the man initially exchanged a few words with them, but then drove away, quickly turning the situation into a pursuit. During the chase, officers attempted a PIT maneuver to stop the vehicle, but the first attempt was unsuccessful. As officers continued closing in and looked for another chance to stop the car, the driver suddenly leaned out of the driver's side window and pointed a rifle toward the officers. At that moment, the pursuit was no longer just a fleeing vehicle case. It became a moving armed threat on city streets.
Get in the car, get in the car. My camera fell off. That's right, my camera fell off. Shit, bro. It's alright, keep holding. Watch, go. Cut the sirens. Cut the sirens.
As the vehicle continued into the 14000 block of Buxley Street, the man leaned out again and pointed the rifle toward police. Faced with a direct threat to officers and the surrounding neighborhood, HPD officers opened fire. The driver was struck at least once, but continued fleeing for a short distance before losing control and driving into a ditch. After the vehicle came to a stop, officers moved in, took the man into custody, recovered the weapon and tactical gear, and began providing first aid before EMS transported him to the hospital.
Hey, we're gonna get you medical help.
Following the incident, authorities identified the driver as 54-year-old Walter Howard. After receiving treatment and being released from the hospital, Howard was booked into the Harris County Jail and faced 4 counts of aggravated assault against a police officer, along with 1 count of evading arrest with a motor vehicle in the 183rd District Court. In accordance with standard procedure for police-involved shootings, the officers who fired their weapons were temporarily placed on administrative leave while the incident is investigated. An undercover investigation that was not originally focused on him suddenly turned into a scene involving a man wearing body armor, armed with a rifle, and fleeing near a school zone. At approximately 2:16 a.m. on the 30th of May, 2025, in the 900 block of White Oak Court in Marysville, Ohio, officers with the Marysville Police Department were dispatched to the scene of a domestic dispute. As officers approached to assess the situation, the man involved, who was inside a vehicle, suddenly opened fire toward law enforcement. Officers returned fire, but the man continued escalating the situation by ramming directly into a police vehicle with an officer inside, striking several other vehicles, and then driving away from the scene.
So turn off your vehicle. It's not in drive. It's literally driving right now. I don't know. I got hit by something.
You good?
I think so. I got hit by something, but I think it was a firecracker.
Yeah, you got a little.
After the initial exchange of gunfire, the confrontation turned into a coordinated pursuit involving Marysville Police, the Union County Sheriff's Office, and the Ohio State Highway Patrol. The fleeing vehicle traveled toward the area of State Route 31 and US Route 33, then continued westbound on Route 33 inches a dangerous manner. Despite multiple units following and attempting to contain the route, the driver still refused to stop, forcing law enforcement to control each stretch of roadway to prevent the vehicle from creating further danger after officers had already been fired upon and a patrol vehicle had been rammed.
19 East swerving back and forth, picking up that thing.
We pop out. I'm going to back and forth, try to keep us straight.
Okay. We're going to bypass Northwest Parkway, continue westbound on 33.
30 mile an hour.
Parkway westbound.
Cut across the median.
Stop. Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
The pursuit came to an end near Northwest Parkway after the vehicle became heavily damaged and stopped. The man did not immediately surrender. Instead, he got out of the vehicle with a gun in his hand. Facing an immediate threat, a deputy with the Union County Sheriff's Office opened fire, striking him. Officers then moved in, disarmed the man, secured the scene, and began providing first aid until Marysville fire personnel arrived to assist. The man was transported to a hospital in Marysville and was later transferred to a medical center in Columbus.
Roll your stomach. Roll your stomach. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Got it.
Following the incident, authorities identified the man as 9-year-old Dustin Ohm, A female officer with the Marysville Police Department was struck by gunfire during the initial exchange, but was later treated and released from the hospital. Ohm was charged with attempted aggravated murder. In accordance with standard procedure for law enforcement-involved shootings, the officers and deputies directly involved were temporarily placed on administrative leave while the incident is reviewed. What began as an early morning domestic call turned into a chain of escalating danger. Gunfire from inside a vehicle. At approximately 1:43 p.m. on Wednesday, the 9th of April 2025, in Malta, New York, members of the New York State Police were working inside the Saratoga State Police headquarters when they suddenly heard multiple gunshots coming from outside. The rounds were fired toward the building where law enforcement personnel were present, immediately turning the situation into an armed threat at a police headquarters.
I'm moving up to my car.
1746.
All right, just cover me. I'm going to my rifle. Sir, put down the weapon. Put the gun down. Put the gun down.
Here's 149.
Put the gun down. Put it down now.
We're southbound.
When NYSP officers went out to the parking lot to investigate the source of the gunfire, they found a man armed with a rifle. Despite repeated commands to lower the weapon, the man pointed the rifle toward law enforcement. At that point, NYSP officers opened fire to stop the immediate threat. The man was struck and fell in the parking lot area. He was later transported to a local hospital but did not survive and was pronounced dead. At the scene, authorities recovered the rifle along with evidence connected to the shots that had been fired at the headquarters earlier.
Drop the gun. Drop the gun. Drop the gun. Put the gun down. Put the gun down.
Here's 149.
Put the gun down. Put it down now.
We're southbound.
Following the incident, the man was identified as 6'9" David Levine, a local resident. According to the information provided, Levine fired multiple rounds into the Saratoga State Police headquarters before confronting officers in the parking lot. A normal workday inside a police headquarters was shattered by gunfire from outside, and only minutes later, the parking lot of that same law enforcement facility became the final scene of a rifle confrontation. At around 3 p.m. on the 12th of May 2025, in the 19900 block of East 56th Avenue in Aurora, Colorado, Aurora 911 received a report about a suspicious man in an off-airport parking lot. The man was accused of pulling on the door handles of multiple vehicles, showing signs of possible trespassing, and refusing to leave the area. At approximately 5:15 p.m., an officer with the Aurora Police Department arrived at the scene to investigate and make contact with the man involved.
Get off me, man. What are you doing? Come on. You're not in trouble. What? You're not in trouble. Huh? Get back.
As the officer tried to speak with the man and ordered him to keep his distance, the situation quickly moved beyond a routine trespassing check. The man refused to follow commands, closed the distance, and then attacked the officer. A struggle broke out on the pavement of the parking lot as the officer tried to control the subject and prevent the situation from escalating further. During the fight, the man took the officer to the ground and began choking him, prompting witnesses nearby to call police and report that the officer urgently needed backup.
Get on the ground now! Stop! Get back! I am gonna fucking shoot you, dude! Back up! Get down!
During the close-range struggle, the officer attempted to use control techniques but could not bring the situation under control, as the immediate risk of serious injury, being disarmed, or losing the ability to defend himself became more direct. The officer drew his service weapon and fired multiple rounds. The man was struck and fell in the parking lot area. Backup units quickly arrived at the scene, established a secure perimeter, and began providing first aid until medical personnel took over.
212, shots fired, I'm okay, suspect is down. He got my magazines off my belt, we tussled on the ground for a while. I need fire hot, I need more cars here.
Following the incident, the man was identified as 32-year-old Rashad Terrell Johnson. Johnson was transported to a local hospital, but later died from his injuries. The Aurora officer involved was also taken for treatment for injuries sustained during the struggle. In accordance with standard procedure for officer-involved shootings, the officer was placed on administrative leave while the incident is reviewed. What began as a call about a suspicious man pulling on car door handles in a parking lot became something far more dangerous when the contact turned into a ground struggle. In just a few seconds, the line between a routine check and an officer fighting to survive disappeared.